house guests, welcome to today's BB Can 6 updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is Kathy McHale. Kathy, thank you so much for the support. You just so happen to be house guest today on one of the craziest days of the year. So thank you so much for the support. We really, really appreciate it. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day before my brain explodes and starts bleeding out of my nose, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All jokes aside, this week has been so draining. Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, when we left off yesterday, the trio of Paris, Maddie, and Will were leaning towards keeping Kayla. And they have not told Johnny about it yet because they know he's not going to be happy about it. That is like the understatement of the year. They think that Dayla would only nominate one of them in the triple eviction just like because of numbers, because they would have to. But then they would be able to keep that person safe because they would control the votes. But they fear if Allie or Liv were to win, they would put up at least two, if not all three of them, and they just can't have that. So the funny thing is, at the time, Kayla's actual plan, it probably, I don't know, it may have changed since then, but at the time, Kayla's actual plan was to take out Johnny and Will during the triple, so she doesn't intend on keeping them all safe. But anyway, Dayla is very aware of Paris' sketchiness right now. They know that she's been a sketch bag all throughout the season, but this week especially, they can see Paris keeps trying to say that Maddie and Will are on the fence about what they're going to do this week, and like it's up to her to convince them to keep Kayla. She wants to take credit for this because she wants to use this as leverage so that they will guarantee her safety in the triple eviction. She's like, guys, I hope you know who's pulling the strings here, okay? I need to know that if I stick my neck out for you, you're not going to put me up on the block, even as a replacement nominee, if the power veto is used. So Kayla's like, yeah, you're not going up, whatever, just F off. So, yeah, Kayla is just like, this is BS because she's had really good conversations with Maddie and Will separately, and she feels like they're both really receptive to keeping her, really receptive, you know, to making this happen. So she's like, damn, Paris is being a jerk. But anyway, the trio also sucks because they are now using their jury votes to threaten Dayla. This is always, like, I always think that this is one of the crappiest moves that people can pull. They're like, we're not going to vote for you in the end if you screw us over in the triple. Gross. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the same thing like 5,000 more times, so if you missed it, just hang in there. Alright, so Allie kind of hit a wall yesterday, figuratively speaking. She was talking to Johnny outside, and she's just feeling really frustrated because everyone is giving her the runaround. She says she can't be fake with people the way that Kayla can. They can see Kayla is just like running around this house campaigning her butt off, and Allie's just like, what else can I tell these people? I've been saying the same thing over and over and over again. I'm done. You know, I'm sick of this shit. So she's saying, I can't do this right now. Maybe I'll campaign some more on Wednesday, but for right now, it's over. I've done nothing for these people to doubt me, which, I mean, you've done some things that were a little bit sketchy. But she says she's not going to waste her breath on them. If they want to vote her out, whatever. She doesn't care at this point. So it sounds like the breaking point that led to this was a conversation with Will, and he was trying to get her to promise safety for the trio during the triple eviction. Give me a freaking break. Olivia summed it up perfectly. Will asks the world of everyone else. Like, he asks them to promise everything to him, and then he gives nothing in return. You know, like, okay, yeah, you're voting to keep them, but still, he is not willing to do the same. So that's really annoying. But anyway, Will was like, yeah, Kayla promised us that she was going to keep us all safe, so, like, are you going to do that? Like, he's trying to do a freaking price check on her and be like, I bought this at Target, but on Amazon it's cheaper, so are you going to match that price? And she's just like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't make any promises like that. Like, who knows what will happen if somebody wins the veto, and then two of you have to go up on the block. So, ugh. All right, so Allie says she's not going to roll over and die, but she's also not going to beg people, so yeah. All right, so then I'm wondering if Johnny is maybe feeling a little bit guilty when he hears Allie talking like this, because earlier in the week, he gave the trio the approval to freak Allie out a little bit, and, you know, act like they're considering keeping Kayla, so that Allie will not feel super safe going into the next week. So Johnny was thinking out loud outside, and yeah, he's feeling a little bit worried that the trio might actually consider keeping Kayla over Allie. Oh my god, that'd be so crazy, right? That plan has already been in motion for a while now. Also, they are not pretending. They are actually, you know, weighing out their options and trying to figure out if they should keep Kayla or Allie. But he just can't see them keeping Kayla. It doesn't make sense to him. He feels like Dayla is such a bigger threat compared to Allie and Liv. So he's just like, no, there's no way. There's no way, right? So anyway, then we got to hear some of Johnny's thoughts on the housemates. This is kind of fun. So he said something for each of them. He said, Paris is desperately all over the place. She's trying to make deals with everyone. He said Will gets frustrated with anybody who's not 100% loyal to him, but he is willing to constantly slash his best friends. Retweet. He said Allie is super shady, and once she regenerates after this like low point, she's just gonna go back to lie to everyone. And then he said Derek is Derek. Enough said. Ooh. Johnny seems to be harboring some resentment towards Derek. He was talking about this earlier, how he would want to see anyone win over Derek, because he feels like Derek is like the stereotypical white privileged man. He feels like he's been hiding behind Kayla this whole time and letting her do all the work, so he's like really not feeling Derek right now. I think you could make the same argument for Will though, couldn't you? Yeah, well anyway, he said that Kayla has 10 batteries shoved up her A. Maddie thinks she's a puppet master, but no. Also, he forgot Liv initially, and then he was like, I guess I have to say something for Liv, too. She stabbed Erica in the back, and he never knows what she's really thinking, so how can he really trust her? But, you know, I think Johnny has one of the closest relationships with Liv. Like, that's one of his closest allies. But anyway, he knows he can't trust anybody at this point. So then Johnny talks about how, oh, I wonder what kind of power Will has. Ugh. He doesn't have a secret power. If you missed yesterday's spoiler, I mentioned how Will was trying to, like, lead Johnny to believe that he got some sort of secret power out of the tomb in the catacombs. I don't think he should be allowed to say that. Isn't that using production as strategy? But I guess he's getting away with it. So Johnny's like, I don't know, will Will use it on me and keep me over Paris? He's always talking crap about Paris. But then again, he's always talking crap about everyone. And he's got no special power. So then Johnny let us know, if anybody's curious, that after himself, of course, he's rooting for either Liv or Allie to win this whole thing. That's fun. Okay, so why would you put Allie up on the block then? Alright, so then Derek and Kayla were chatting in the HOH room, and Kayla lets him know, I was talking to Paris earlier, and she told me to tell you that you better stop trash talking her if you want me to stay this week. So they thought, that was cute. So they talk about how Paris is acting like she's the one making the decision this week, but it's all a front, okay? They know that Maddie and Will are already thinking about keeping her, and Paris is just like, ooh, I don't know if I can convince them or not. Maddie and Will, again, have been very receptive on their own. So Kayla's telling Derek, I don't know what I would do if I won HOH in the triple, because she wants to keep the people that save her safe, but, like, she's gonna have to put up 3 people if she wins in the triple. So she's like, alright, I guess I would keep safe the 2 people who committed to me first. So as of right now, she's feeling like Paris is the last one on board, right? So she's like, you know what, maybe we should just target Paris and Johnny. Wouldn't that be crazy? Okay, so then Derek goes to work. He's talking to Paris in the catacombs, and he's like, yeah, just so we're clear, if I win the triple eviction, I will be going after Johnny and Liv, just like Kayla. So then Paris is asking him about his conversation with Will when he was talking about all of her deals and alliances, and she's just like, stop doing that. Like, it's really hurtful to me, blah, 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 blah. All right, we've heard it 1,000 times. So then Paris is telling him all of her other terms that need to be met for her to keep Kayla and to convince Will and Maddie to keep Kayla. So she's like, you have to promise me that you won't put me up in the triple no matter what. If Liv wins HOH in the triple, don't throw me under the bus to her. What are they going to do, volunteer to go up? And she said, if I'm on the block, you have to save me. So again, Paris is acting like it's up to her to save Kayla so that they will feel like they owe her. All right, so after a while, after they were chatting for a while, Johnny comes in to the catacombs to break up the chat. And you could tell he's feeling some type of way right now. He's like, oh, you're campaigning to Paris? And and Derek's like, no, we're talking about game. Busted! So Johnny is like, you shit-talked her game the last 2 days. You blew up her game, and now you're trying to freaking get her back on your side? And Derek is just like, no, what? Why are you being like this? And he's just kind of like laughing because it's just so startling. I mean, you could tell Derek looked freaking shell-shocked during this whole confrontation. So Johnny's like, I just know the promises are coming from a place of total fakeness. And Derek is like, well, I politely ask you to leave if you're going to do this. And Johnny's like, no. He says to Paris, like, just know, it feels like Real Housewives know that. Just know that Derek and Kayla freaking shat on your game the most out of everybody. So he's saying, I can't even imagine Dayla trying to position themselves with you guys, with the trio. Because they said, you guys are the weakest, you're sheep, and you don't belong here. Lucy, she's bored, she's snoring. So anyway, Derek is just like, what are you talking about? I never said that. Why are you in here doing this? Oh, he definitely said those things. But he's denying it. So then Johnny keeps bringing up things that Dayla has said about Paris, and Derek is like, we've already talked about it all. It's not a big deal, whatever. So then Derek brings up how Johnny lied about his vote for Will. Remember, he voted for Will to go, and he wanted to keep Erica. And Johnny's like, a moment of trying to save a relationship is different than lying to everyone week after week. Derek responds, a lie is a lie. So then Johnny accuses Derek of lying himself, not just about game stuff, but he thinks that Derek has watched more Big Brother than he admits. After watching Derek's gameplay, I can confidently say he's not lying. No. Derek is just like, you'll see when we get out of here. I was not lying about that. So Johnny's like, all right, well, there's no way that Dayla will keep the trio intact throughout the triple. It just doesn't make sense. They've been working with Allie and Liv the whole game. Why stop now? So Derek is again asking, like, can you please leave? Like, the tone of the whole thing was so weird because they were kind of like laughing, but also Johnny was kind of yelling. Derek was just like, the whole time. And Johnny's like, no, I'm not leaving. So Derek is then, he says, you are accusing me of lying this whole game, but I haven't even talked that much game to lie about. So Johnny's like, yeah, I know, you've been sitting back looking pretty while Kayla's done all the talking. So there's that resentment coming out. So Johnny is like, you've been in here talking forever. You've been campaigning for like 2 hours, which is not true. I feel like they were only in there for like half an hour, maybe 45 minutes before Johnny came in, unless I like totally lost track of time. But Johnny's like, give everybody a break. You know, we're all over it. Now, I am by no means a Derek fan. I feel like I'm not a fan of anybody at this point. Once you like watch these people so closely, it's hard to root for anybody. I don't know. Maybe I'm rooting for Liv. Who knows? But you know, Derek can campaign to anybody he wants to. What is this like trying to tell people to stop campaigning? It's crazy. It's weird. So then Derek is like, well, you're campaigning really hard for Allie to stay, so what the hell? And Johnny's like, all right, well, your efforts need to stop because it's just cringy at this point. Okay, so then Johnny finally leaves, but he makes it clear that it's not because Derek asked. It was his choice. All right. So then, after that, Johnny, Will, and Paris were talking in the backyard, and Will says that he heard from Allie that Derek already made a deal to work with Allie and Liv if Kayla goes. Why wouldn't he? Why would he want to work with you turds? But anyway, this conversation did actually happen. I talked about it in yesterday's spoiler, and they were both like, yeah, we're good. I don't want you to be alone, blah, blah, blah. So Johnny's like, wake up, duh. They've been working together this whole time. They're not going to stop now. So Will was like, all right, well, we should have another house meeting because they just want to watch Dayla and Allie and Liv tear each other apart. You know, they also see this as a way to drive the wedge further between them so that they don't work together next week. And I think they're just bored too. They want to see it happen. So they're all on board for that. Johnny is like, you guys need to realize that Dayla is just saying whatever they need to say right now. Or sorry, to stay right now. Can't even read anymore. They're not going to protect you guys in the triple. It's just not going to happen. So Will's like, all right, let's do this house meeting. I want the truth before I make this huge decision. So Johnny's like, is it a huge decision? Are you seriously thinking about keeping Kayla? Like, why is this even a decision at all? What is this? So he's kind of freaking out about that a little bit. So then, a little while later, Will and Paris are out by the hot tub with Derek and Kayla. And Will says, I want to call another house meeting. What, so he could just sit there and listen and not participate like usual? So they're all like, what? So they're not feeling that. But Will starts asking them about Kayla's HOH week. Remember with the whole Erica eviction? There was that whole thing where Allie and Liv made up that lie and like Kayla was going along with it too. That Kayla like threatened them to vote out Erica, and if they didn't agree to it, she was going to put one of them up on the block instead of Erica. Yeah, that was all just a front because Allie and Liv needed an excuse to give to Johnny for why they voted Erica out. So Kayla admits, like, they wanted her to go, okay? That was not real. That was a made-up thing. She did not threaten them to get them to vote Erica out. So then Will also asks, did Derek make a deal to work with Allie and Liv if you go home? And Derek's like, no, we talked about being friends. There was no game involved in that. We weren't talking about working together. Rolling. Okay, so then a little while later, everyone is in the white bedroom except for Dayla. Oh my god. It's the same shite over and over. So basically at this point, Allie's on trial. And she's trying to defend herself here. I'm just going to give you the bullet points because I can't go through it all again. It's too much. So Allie is like, I cannot keep all of you guys off the block in the triple. One of you is going to have to go up. You can keep that person safe, whatever. I can't guarantee that another person won't go up because I don't know what would happen with the veto. And just know that in the past, like last week, Dayla said that they would put all of you guys up. So whatever they're feeding you right now, it's not true. So then Allie confirms, yes, Derek did tell me that we would be good if Kayla goes this week. And she also walked them through the whole Erica eviction. Yes, we made up that plan. It wasn't legit. Okay, so after they go through all of that, Johnny's like, okay, cool. So should we still have the house meeting? And Will and Paris are into it. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Allie's like, I mean, I just laid it all out there. You can do it if you want, but I'm just going to say the same exact stuff. So whatever, just let me know. And Maddie's like, no, I already got what I needed. So like, we don't need to have this house meeting. She freaking squashed it. And Paris is pissed. She's like, what the hell? Like, we want to have this house meeting so that they'll fight with each other. And Maddie's just like, I think it's unnecessary. Why are we going to do this? So then Johnny goes and asks Derek if he wants to do this house meeting, and Derek is like, no, I just want to go in the hot tub, which he does by himself. And you could tell Johnny is annoyed that Derek is not playing his little games and reacting to this craziness. So they did not have a house meeting last night. I just want to make a note. I feel like, to give you guys the full context of what's going on here, Johnny's behavior in the last like 24 hours has been like, A combination of him telling Olivia not to put up Maddie during the double eviction, and also his reaction after Erica was evicted. Like, if those two reactions had a baby, it would be Johnny in the last 24 hours. He's been off the wall, okay? So today, Kayla and Derek were campaigning to the trio in the white bedroom. Oh my god, same stuff! So then Johnny busts in, and he is freaking losing it. So he's like, this is such lies. It's exhausting. You guys didn't want to have this convo in front of everybody last night for fear of your lies being called out. So then Kayla's like, nobody approached me yesterday about a group conversation. And Johnny's like, well, I asked Derek and he didn't want to do it. He just wanted to go in the hot tub, man. So they all agree, like, fine, let's have the group conversation right now. So Johnny brings in Allie and Liv. So now everybody is in the white room. And Johnny basically asked Kayla to make her pitch to stay that she was, you know, using on the trio. Say that in front of everybody. So Kayla's like, all right, whatever. Like, I feel like their best chance of surviving the trio is for me to stay, because if I win, I will put up Johnny and Liv. So then Allie's like, how can you say that? Because she was also saying Allie and Liv would put up all three of the trio. So Allie's asking, how can you say that? You don't know what I would do. And Kayla's like, oh yeah? Well, don't you want Maddie out? In order for that to happen, you'd have to put up all of them. So Allie's like, this game changes every week. Don't speak on my behalf. You don't know what I would do. This is ridiculous. So then, loud noises! They have some freaking raised voices here. They both accuse each other of saying that they would put up the trio, which I feel like they've both said in the past. And Johnny is just adding fuel to the fire here. He's trying to make sure they're really going after each other. He's also really campaigning for Kayla to leave, which I don't think helps, because isn't that going to show that, like, he's working kind of with Allie and Liv? Sort of, maybe? I mean, that's what I would see that. So then Johnny's like, yeah, you guys, Dayla called the trio sheep. Derek is denying it. They're just giving the trio exactly what they want, which is gross, okay? You've got Allie and Liv on one side. You've got Derek and Kayla on the other. They're just like, bleh, and Johnny is in the middle being like, ugh. So then the trio is sitting there all smug because they're, you know, deciding the vote this week. It's just like really, ugh. So then it really turns into a screaming match. It's mostly between Allie and Kayla. Couple of hotheads. I couldn't even make sense of a lot of the stuff that they were saying. It was just the same crap over and over again. But Allie was like, can't you do math? You can't split the money 5 ways, and like more than one of you are gonna have to go up if the veto's used. So she also had some line about saying Kayla was full of shit and she doesn't know if it was just the tan or if it's just because she's full of shit. So then Kayla is like, you guys, if you freaking vote me out and Derek wins HOH, you're all effed. So Johnny's like, what, are we supposed to all go through this game fearing Derek? No, you have to go. So Johnny is really trying to make sure that Kayla goes. Again, I'm not sure if this is working. I don't know if it's helping or hurting. I think almost hurting. But then there's a moment of silence and Will chimes in and he's like, I'm not like trying to threaten you guys. I'm just throwing this out there. If me, Maddie, and Paris go up during the triple, just remember, we're 3 jury votes. Are you mother effing kidding me? The trio can just go, okay? They can just leave. That is so annoying. He's like, we're 3 out of 7 jury votes, and that's huge. You can just fook off. Get out. So Paris is just like, she's trying to clarify. She's like, if a deal is made and you go back on it, you can kiss 3 votes goodbye. Like, obviously, we understand that you have to put up at least one of us, but, like, if you make us some sort of deal and then go back on it, you're gonna lose all our votes. Okay, so anyway, after a few more minutes of this nonsense, Liv and Allie have had enough. They're like, you know what, we're gonna go work out. We're done here. So then the conversation kind of continues for a little while. Paris is getting really pissed because Will keeps bringing up that 86 alliance and it just won't go away. That's what happens when you make deals with everyone. So then Johnny keeps tearing into Dayla, telling them that they have the shittiest games and he's going to poison the jury against them. It just goes on and on. So then later, after all this is done, it's time for the Genius Squad, Maddie, Paris, and Will, to discuss their options for the vote. So now Will is saying he wants to keep Allie because he feels like Dayla's too strong. They lie constantly, and if they go against Johnny's wishes, they're really going to piss him off, and he's scared. So Johnny cannot play in the next HOH, but he's already thinking ahead to the following one. He doesn't even know if he's going to be there or if Johnny's going to be there or what, but he's like, you know what? I don't think we should have Johnny mad at us for the following HOH. So anyway, Maddie and Paris, on the other hand, are arguing to keep Kayla because they really feel like Dayla is going to honor that deal, especially after the huge freaking house meeting where they threatened to not vote for Derek or Kayla in the end if they break a deal. So they all agree to keep this under wraps. They're still not sure what they're going to do, but they don't want to tell anybody which way they're leaning yet. So you know what happens? A little while later, Will goes and tattles to Johnny. He's just like freaking Cindy Brady. So he tells Johnny, this is just between us two. Maddie and Paris are leaning towards keeping Kayla. But then he like backtracks and tries to say like they're not. He said they're thinking about it, but they're not leaning towards it. Come on, man. So Johnny knows what's up. He's freaking pissed. And he says, all right, great. Derek or Kayla are going to win this game. Are you freaking kidding me? So that's where we're at right now. Tomorrow's the eviction. There's no telling what will happen. It looks like Maddie and Paris are leaning towards, according to Will, Maddie and Paris are leaning towards keeping Kayla, and they don't need Will to do it because they have Derek's vote, obviously. So who knows if they would go against him or if they're going to convince him at the last minute or everyone's going to flip and who even knows. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.